Sweet. Alright, let's just give this a spin. I feel like this can be really boring, so let's just move it along. Kind of an administrative... Well, that's not quite fair. The next step that we need to do for the project is add a new type of cartridge, right? Because if we play... Let's fix our speaker output here. There we go. So you, all 0 people watching, can listen as well. So if we go to the Makarov right now, this morning we fixed the front end of the Makarov. It previously, the model wasn't quite right up here in the front, and so that's awesome. Looks better, and I'm not over yet how cool this is that we can pull open the slide like that. And in the last video I did, I had the code a little bit wrong still for handling this slide stop. So you'd pull back on this and the slide stop wouldn't actually drop. And I've fixed that now. So if you can see that, when I pull this back, this little tab should actually fall before I let it go. Like that. And that's been fixed now. So that's cool. So what we're doing now is we actually want to shoot this, right? And right now we have the wrong cartridges in the game for it. These are the revolver cartridges. This is 38 special, right? So we need to model and import the Makarov 9x18mm cartridge. So what we're going to do is we have that modeled already. It's right here. And it's correct-ish in terms of dimensions and everything. And it looks nice enough. We modeled it, you know, the same way we modeled the 38 special, so it's going to look in the same style or whatever. So now we need to get it into our game engine. So we're going to go and export it as a GLB file for Godot. And I've got a folder for the 9x18 cartridge, and just to make sure that we keep everything in the same style as, or the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, structure as my other cartridge that I already have. We're going to name the file cartridge underscore 9x18 .glib. So we'll do that. And oops. And we also want to go into Blender, and when we export this, so we're going to call it cartridge 9x18.glib. That's correct. I don't have any cameras in this scene, which is good because that would mess this up. And we want to apply modifiers and then export. That's it. So we can get out of Blender now. As sexy as this looks in Blender, we don't need to be viewing it from that screen anymore. It doesn't look nearly half as good in Godot, but that's okay. It's because I probably don't know how to do reflections and stuff. So let's get into here and let's open this guy up. You know, new inherited, and you'll notice, and this is very important, that it's oriented the same way. So the positive z direction, which is actually the negative z direction in Blender, which is a little confusing. But anyway, the positive z direction is what we're using as our... Right? Do I have an empty? See that? Yeah, it's positive z direction. In my exported... Here, let's go back into Blender. I lied. We want to go back into Blender. And I don't want that empty. Oh, you know what? It's probably the reference image. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Look at that. I forgot I had that in there. We did pretty well. That's not so bad. My materials aren't amazing, but that's fine. We'll we'll fiddle with that more later. That's that's good enough for what I'm trying to do right now. So, what we can do is we can just not export that reference. So if we go export, and we can say include selected objects, limit to visible objects. That's pretty easy, actually. And then geometry, apply modifiers. That should fix it. I don't think we actually changed anything of substance there, so let's get back into here. New inherited. There we go. And now there's no empty object cluttering us up. So that's good. So now we kind of want to save this in the cartridge directory. 9x18, cartridge 9x18, Godot file, scene, Godot scene. And then we're going to add a collision shape. And then that's about it. Now that collision shape, we're going to have to make sure it's on the right layer. But we'll get there. So collision shape. And do I have the type of this set to kinematic body? We can do that, I think. Change type to kinematic body. That's fine. That disconnects it from the imported what's the word I'm looking for? The imported mesh, which there could be pros and cons to that. In the past, I've liked that because it allows me to actually scale and retitle and hide and show, whatever these guys. You can hide and show them anyway, but I'm talking nonsense. Let's make this a collision shape. So I think I've got a capsule shape for this guy. Yeah. And then we can just kind of eyeball it. So, oops, I just moved it, I think. There we go. There we go. Yeah. That is probably fine. We could make it a little smaller even if we wanted. Yeah. Great. Beautiful. Okay, so it has a collision shape. What else do we need? Is there any kind of scripts on this bad boy? There is. Okay. So we're going to want to just straight copy this. Now, at this point, we could subclass this, right? Like, is there a way that we can reuse this code in Godot? We could just attach the same script. And we can do extends, so sure we could, right? Oh, now I don't have the struct primer. I don't know if that's gonna become a factor that you'll even notice on the but if we've got that mechanic already in here, we maybe should go ahead and code it up, so just to keep things consistent. Alright, it's easy enough, right? So here's the real question. Are all cartridges going to have these same methods, right? Maybe. You know what? let's just copy and paste it for now. And if we find that this code is just sitting here and it's an exact copy, we could abstract it up. It'd be premature optimization, I think, to make it too much different. Now we might have a difference between a revolver cartridge and a thingy, but yeah, okay, hold on. So let's go here. Let's add a script to this. That's good. Right. Now, what we do want to do is we want to change the name of the top level object. See this? This is goofy, but it's the correct way to do it in Godot. In Godot speak. So we're gonna do that. And let's I changed my mind. Let's not add the struct primer for this one yet. We'll figure that out if we want to cross that bridge. Okay. Got the collision shape. It's all matching. We're not actually going to save any changes to this guy, so I don't know what exactly was going on there, but let's do this. We can just say pass for now on that guy. Right. Okay. Want to map that input event. There we go. And then we want to make sure it's on the right layer. So if we look at the collision shape, maybe it's the, up here we go. So it's on layer 3, layer 3. So we'll do that for this guy too. Collision 3, 3. Alright. And now this is kind of the magic part, right? If we go to the player in the script here, there we go. There we go. And then let's see where else. Okay. There we go. That's pretty cool. And then, if we look at the level selector script, or the weapon selector, we go. Now doesn't it say to give them a particular amount of ammo? No, it doesn't. So where are we? Where are we sending that value? Where are we calling give ammo? Okay, we don't want to save any changes to this. So don't save. Okay. Where do we actually call give ammo? Okay, we call it there. Oh, here on the windmill level. Alright, now if we look at the scene switcher, quick, it's not dictating that list of attributes. That's just coming from the weapon menu. Right here. So here we've got, and I wonder if I can put this into 2 lines. We'll see. But for now, I can type numbers. There we go. There we go. Now, first of all, let's just check the revolver and see if that still works. It does. Okay, that's interesting. Just remind myself that the game still works, you know? Ah! Phooey. Okay, we can't end on a miss like that. We have to hit it. There we go. You have to lead it a little bit because there's actually projectile bullets in this game. And if you watch carefully, you can actually see it. In flight, although it's anyway. It's a little hard probably with this bit rate. So now here's the $1,000,000 question. Did we get the new caliber model, cartridge model in here? And I think we did, but we'll see. Look at that. Oh, that's actually pretty sick. Those bullets are looking a little green, but otherwise, that's pretty cool. So we're gonna stick those in there next. But yeah, look at that. Those look about right, honestly. You know? Hell yeah. Sweet. Alright, so we have the Makarov cartridge in the game. That's pretty great. It's completely productive. Alright. Sick. So now we've got a lot of work left to do. This is kind of the complicated part. Right. Because now we need to not only program the rest of the gun, so like the decocker, the hammer, the trigger, etc. But we also have to... That is a pretty great screenshot, though. I might take a screenshot of that just for like a thumbnail. That's pretty cool. But we also need to I don't know why this is so mad at me. It's not letting me pull up my handy dandy Microsoft Paint. What if I just go to the P's? Normally I would just type it, but oh no, it's not over there. Is it under Utilities? That's goofy. Yeah, weird. We can do a normal old print screen, probably. If that worked. I think it did. It doesn't really matter. Maybe now it'll work. Yeah. Perfect. That was way too much work. Okay. We also have to program, in addition to all those things, putting the rounds into the magazine. And we can do that. We can do that in a very naive way, just like we're doing right now with the revolver. And here because right now, if you just drag the cartridge for the revolver near the revolver, right, it just jumps into the cylinder, which is kind of boring, right? It would be so much more satisfying if it worked more like our first game worked, which actually had a little bit fancier implementation of this, right? This one. Where you can actually... You get the magazine close to the gun. You get it within a certain region, and then it becomes a one-dimensional slider up and down within that socket, giggity, right? And then you can click it into place. And that... This is going to be loud. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. That's going to be loud. It's so hard not to, though. I could just turn down the volume real quick in OBS. That would be the right answer. But, yeah, let's do that. Oh, it's already down pretty far. Alright. That should be safe. Doink. You can really see the bullets move in this one. See those bullets as they travel? It's pretty cool. Kind of hard to see. It's probably easiest to see them against this backstop. Doesn't really matter, other than it's pretty cool that we have real projectiles. And they're a combination projectile. They're a combination projectile ray trace, or hit scan. So it's a projectile with a hit scan nose. What would the right word for that be? Narwhal tusk? Whatever. It's a projectile with a ray cast shooting out in front of it. So for the first, whatever, 10 meters, it's hit scan in front of the projectile, and then as the projectile moves, the hit scan moves with it, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a hybrid. That little target way out there is kind of a bear to hit. That tiny little one. But as a result, we actually have bullet drop to be accounted for. I can't end on a miss. We actually have bullet drop to account for, which is fun. And because all of the units are in real human units, we can plug in the speed of this bullet. Now, right now, it's exaggeratedly slow, as you can tell, because you can actually see the projectile in flight here. See that? But maybe it's kind of around the speed of like a real 45 ACP, maybe a little slower right now, right? We can check the code. It's going to be in the bullet script. Look at my nice folder organization over here. 450 feet per second right now, so it's about half the speed of a real bullet in that. But something that, say, Escape from Tarkov does, right, is it has the bullets traveling at like 1/3 the speed of the real bullet, real world equivalent, right? So like for 5.56 rounds, right? Pop that out of the magazine. Say like one of these puppies. In Tarkov, it's going like 900 feet per second, right? In real life, this goes 3,000 feet per second. So if you're shooting at someone 100 meters away, in Tarkov, you have to hold like a foot over their head with 5.56, which is pretty unrealistic, right? Now, they do it to make it feel more realism, so you actually have to do a holdover. Otherwise, for the size of maps that you have in Tarkov, you wouldn't really have to do much of a holdover at any range. Without getting the players significantly further apart. Right. Which becomes pretty prohibitively difficult with, like, whatever, loading that much map into a computer all at the same time. With the level of detail that Tarkov maps have. Anyway, I kind of am not a huge fan of that. I like the idea of if your game has accurate distances, like I know this is 100 meters away, then, in real life, a 45 or a 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge is going to drop, however much it's going to drop, 6 inches or 4 inches or whatever, at 100 meters. Let's have it actually drop 4 inches at 100 meters in the game. Like, why not? That seems much cooler. There's still drop. It still would be noticeable if you just set up some longer range targets, right? Anyway, so that's how I've got it. That's how I want to do it anyway, although in this early example, it's not set up like that. But anyway, I'm off topic. Uh, the main topic is I want the magazines and cartridges to work like this. But this brings up a good point. If we spend 2 months, right, getting the weapon handling like exactly how I want it, right, then you're left with perfect weapons, but a doo-doo, you know, level design, right, with no story and no art, you know, and that kind of defeats the purpose, right? It's something I struggle with in painting, right? If you're painting a physical painting and you're trying to get a lot of detail, like on a person or an object in your painting, right? And you spend all day on that little corner of the canvas, right? At the end of the day, you're not going to have a very good painting because it all has to blend together. So, long story short, we don't want to nitpick too much on the weapon handling, and even if we can get some pretty just basic script in there that works, like we have for the revolver right now, let's not touch that until we have like 2 or 3 levels and the Makarov working and maybe a cutscene, and then you could come back and work on the thing, you know, like that's kind of the mentality. So I think let's do the same thing with the magazines for now, where if you put the bullets in the magazines, you just drag the bullet to the magazine and it'll click it in. You could say you have to drag the bullet to the top of the magazine, and that's fair. And you could even say you have to kind of like press it up against the top of the magazine with a certain amount of down pressure. That would probably work, although even still, that might take a little bit of effort to program that. But 1111 make a wish. Should we get the Makarov all programmed today? Done. That's a pretty steep wish, but we can try it. We can try it. I'm going to take a break for now, but we will resume.